Hey budgeteers, it is budget reflection time. This is always a good time for me because I get to sit back for a minute and think about what we've done this week. So you'll notice on there that when we budgeted yesterday, there was a lot of car gas coming through. We put a lot of gasoline in our cars. We've been traveling around and having a lot of fun. We've been doing a lot of good traveling right here locally in the area, which has been really good for us because we just needed to get out. And as it's so cold outside, we spend most of that time in the car going somewhere, and it's been a lot of fun. Now, I keep talking about these medical bills, and I'm sure all of you are waiting to see where they come through. I'm curious to see where they hit. We did have an HSA in place, which means we had money set aside for a lot of what was going down. And I know that there's still money in the HSA, and so none of that will hit this budget session until all of that is drained. And I don't think, I hope that it won't come to this budget very much. I mean, we may have $100 or $200 come through, but I am hoping we can keep that to a minimum. And I don't know. I mean, it's all up in the air. It depends on medical billing. And of course, once you receive a medical bill, you always have to call out, make sure that things were billed right, double check on things, make sure that you're paying the lowest amounts possible, and get your situation as good as you can get it prior to paying that bill. So I know I've got a lot coming through, but at the same time, I'm so excited. This weekend was the launch of the Nintendo Switch. Talked about that in the budgeting session yesterday. I am loving it. It's been so much fun to have, but really it's one of those things that I can see that I set it aside up front at the first of this year. I made it a priority, and I now have it. And once we got the tax return, we're setting aside some money for a vacation, and we're now driving at that. And if we know that if we overspend on the budget, we have to start pulling from somewhere, and that will be our travel fund at this point. So in order to keep that intact, we're trying so hard to focus in and get that done. Now, I'm really excited about all of the adventures that we have coming, so I hope that you'll stay tuned for that. And I have just been thrilled with how many budgeteers are still joining in and coming and joining the cause. I am loving this. Budget with Quincy has been a really fun project, and I am having a blast. Now, I've done a few segments in the last little while that are varying. I've focused in on a couple of different areas, and I'm just kind of gauging where interest is at. I'm looking for what people are most curious about. So I've got a Declutter Your Life series that I'm still working on the side, but not as many videos are coming out as I had hoped. We're focusing in a little bit on the stock market and how to invest, because I'm doing a little bit of that on the side with the savings amounts that I'm pulling from the budget here. And then lastly, I'm looking at different ways to make some passive income. So obviously there are many different ways to make income in this world, and I want to start showcasing some of the things that I'm trying and some of the ways that I'm making money. Then lastly, I've talked a little bit about creating a credit card series where I show how I make rewards, what my reward balances are, and kind of my focus and strategy around that. So I'm a little bit far spread, and I don't know exactly where to focus, but I'm just having fun. If you have anything specific that you want to see, suggest it out. Otherwise, over time, I'm sure I'm going to hit everything. We'll come around to it, and I'm just going to keep putting out what I think is the most interesting for me at that time. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and this week has been a really good week. We're now transitioning into March, and it is a great time to start budgeting. So if you're not already budgeting with us, make sure that you join in. I've got a link to the budget template series right here. It teaches you how to budget using my budget template that I use here. So if you want to follow along step by step, I suggest going through that series. I think it's 9 videos long, and you can learn everything you need to know. On these days, I like to just sit back and reflect after I do my budget, and it always makes me feel like I'm moving forward, even when there has been some struggles. I can see the wins, the big wins that are out there, the little wins, every win. The losses seem to kind of fade away when I sit and think about what we're doing in our budget. This has been a good year. I hope you're having a good year as well. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help, and we will see you next time, budgeteers.